wonderful land of Pakistan. A country with a history stretching back thousands of years or only a few decades. It depends on how you look at it. Isn't history fun? Don't answer that. But yes, we're going to be learning all about one of the world's most up-and-coming nations, unlike other countries that are rapidly on the decline. Not naming names, just saying. Anyways, what delightful drupe is Pakistan's national fruit? Where in Pakistan should you go if you want to get your hands on some scarily cheap broomsticks? And how many awards will my flawless Urdu pronunciation bag me? 2 out of 3 of those questions are going to be answered, so sit down, shut up and prepare to get filled up with knowledge from the verdant realm of South Asia as we careen perilously through 101 facts about Pakistan. Number 1. Pakistan, officially known as the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, is a country in South Asia. It's big, it's full of people, and you can go there if you want. Yep, sounds like a country to me. Number 2. Pakistan is bordered on its west by Iran and Afghanistan, with Afghanistan's skinny little Wakhan corridor capping off its northern edge. The country also shares borders with China and India around the disputed northern eastern Kashmir region, and a less controversial eastern border with western India. To the south, Pakistan has a 650-mile-long coastline along the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman, and as such shares a maritime border with Oman. And that's Pakistan, baby. Number 3. The area that falls within the borders of what's now Pakistan is home to some of the earliest known signs of human occupation outside of Africa. Stone artifacts dating back almost 2 million years have been found in northern Pakistan, and evidence suggests that ancient Stone Age cultures of hunter-gatherers lived on the Potahar Plateau and in the Soan Valley of northern Punjab, at least as early as 300,000 years ago. Number 4. At some point in around 3300 BCE, the renowned Indus River Valley civilization began to emerge in what's now Pakistan, flourishing roughly between 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE, when the population is thought to have reached up to 5 million people. Also known as the Harappan civilization, the Indus Valley civilization is known for its sophisticated bureaucracy and infrastructure, as well as its elaborate water supply and drainage systems, characterized baked brick houses, and cultural advantages in handicraft and metallurgy. Nice. Number 5. By 1300 BCE, the Indus Valley civilization had declined, only to be replaced with the Vedic civilization. This period in Pakistan's history is named after the Vedas, a large body of religious texts which constitute the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. The Vedic period began to form with the migrations and invasions of Aryan people into that area. And we should point out that in this context the word Aryan is a historical term for Indo-Iranians, not the far less pleasant, version. Regardless, this period spanned roughly 1,000 years from 1500 BCE to around 500 BCE, from which point control of the region repeatedly changed hands between various conquering civilizations for the next few hundred years. Number 6. And so, in roughly 500 BCE, Cyrus the Great of Persia arrived and conquered the land, bringing the region under the control of the First Persian Empire, also known as the Achaemenid Empire, though the area did enjoy relative autonomy. Yippee! Woo! That was well and good, I guess, until the 7. Alexander the Great, a king of the ancient Greek kingdom of Macedon, waltzed right in. He then won the Battle of Hydaspes, conquered up the place good and proper, and gained control of the Punjab region. Good job for him. Too bad he died almost immediately afterwards. Oh well. Number 8. And so, in roughly 322 BCE, much of what is now Pakistan was brought under the control of the Maurya Empire by a fellow named Chandragupta, who founded the entire chuffing thing. The Mauryan dynasty lasted around 180 years, during which time Buddhism was introduced in Pakistan after the conversion of his grandson Ashoka. Number 9. For a while after that, much of the region fell under the control of the Greek people who'd settled in the time of Alexander the Great, establishing the Hellenistic Indo-Greek kingdom in 180 BCE that spread over present days in Afghanistan and parts of Pakistan. It lasted until the year 10, back when Jesus was figuring out whether or not he wanted to be the savior of all humanity. It was a tough age. Number 10. In the year 60, the Kushan Empire rose to prominence and began to dominate the region. Descended from a Central Asian people known as the Yuezhi, the people of the Kushan Empire were instrumental in the establishment of Buddhism in India, and it spread to Central Asia and China. Not only that, the interaction of Greek and Buddhist cultures led to the advent of some snazzy Greco-Buddhist art. That's some A-grade cultural fusion right there. Number 11. However, by the end of the 200s, the Kushan Empire had weakened, allowing the expanding Sassanid Persian Empire to move into the region. Meanwhile, somewhere around 320 CE, the Gupta Empire of India conquered the southern portion of Pakistan and ruled there until the year 600. Basically, a lot was going on, taking place, winding down, and then kicking off again. That's history, baby. Number 12. Then at some point between 420 and 450 CE, the so-called White Huns, or Hephthalites, entered northern Pakistan. So yeah, now it was the White Huns' turn to rule that general area before another group turned up. Oh, another group turning up. Like right now. Okay, great, let's move on. This one's a biggie. Number 13. In the year 712, much of what is now southern Pakistan was conquered by Muhammad bin Qasim of the Umayyad Caliphate and brought the region under Arab control. As a result, Islam was introduced, exerting profound influence over the lives, culture and traditions of the area's inhabitants. Number 14. Then, in the late 10th century, the Ghazvinid Empire took over with the arrival of Turkic ruler Mahmood of Ghazni, who had very little tolerance for religions other than Islam. As a result, Mahmood of Ghazni further entrenched the Islamic faith deeper into the region, setting the religious character of what would later become Pakistan for centuries to come. Number 15. By the 13th century, much of what is now southern Pakistan was brought under the control of the delicious-sounding Delhi Sultanate, an Islamic empire established by the successors of a rabble-rouser called Muhammad Ghori. The Delhi Sultanate would rule over much of Pakistan until well into the 16th century, at which point... Number 16. That all came to an end on the 21st of April 1526, when an important chap named Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur faced off against Ibrahim Lodi in the First Battle of Panipat. Babur prevailed, ending the Delhi Sultanate and establishing the Mughal Empire, which would eventually grow into one of the largest empires in the history of South Asia. This included the vast majority of the Indian subcontinent, as well as pretty much all of present-day Pakistan. As a result, the Mughal Empire had an enormous impact on the culture, cuisine and architecture of modern Pakistan. Number 17. Then, starting in the middle of the 18th century, almost the entirety of what's now Pakistan was brought under the control of the Durrani Empire. I hope you're counting all these, because a lot of empires going on. This spanned all of the present-day extent of Afghanistan and several smaller areas of the surrounding countries. God, all this empire change is getting really tiresome. I could probably take like, what, a couple more? No, not Pakistan, well. Fingers crossed. Number 18. In 1799, a large part of northern Pakistan was brought under the control of the Sikh Empire, a short-lived state formed under the leadership of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. The Sikh Empire only lasted 50 years because in 1849, the region became the last major area of the Indian subcontinent to be colonized by, wait for it, the British! Surprise! Us again! Sorry. Number 19. So yeah, in 1849, the entire Indian subcontinent, including Pakistan, was taken over by the British. Well, I suppose more accurately, some British. This is because it technically wasn't the British government doing the ruling, but the British East India Company, which was literally just a trading company that had grown so large and influential in the area that it even had its own private army. However, that didn't last too long in Pakistan because in 1857 there was a massive rebellion in northern India that was brutally quashed by the British, after which the East India Company was dissolved and the entire subcontinent was brought under direct British rule. Number 20. Over the subsequent decades, the Muslim minority in British India began to assert themselves, founding several organisations to promote the political advancement of Indian Muslims within a predominantly Hindu nation. In 1906, the All India Muslim League was founded for this purpose. It should be noted that at this point, the stated aims of the League did not include the establishment of the independent Muslim state. That goal did not emerge until later, as a result of perceived political bias in favour of the Hindu majority. Number 21. The desire for a separate Muslim state, known as the Pakistan movement, did eventually emerge in the subsequent decades, as tensions between Muslims and Hindus continued to fester. In 1933, a Pakistani nationalist named Chowdhury Rahmat Ali published a now famous political pamphlet entitled Now or Never, in which he abbreviated the names of 5 Muslim-majority regions of northwest India to coin the phrase Pakistan. An I was later added after the K to improve pronunciation, and thus the country's name was born. Number 2200. Delightfully, the word Pakistan actually has a double meaning. In various languages spoken in the region, including Urdu and Persian, the word Pak means pure and Stan is a suffix meaning place of. As such, Pakistan essentially means pure land, or more poetically, land of the pure. Number 23. At this point, following the Second World War, Britain had neither the military power nor the financial resources to hold onto India any longer, and independence was imminent. In early 1947, the British government announced their aim to grant India its independence by mid-1948, though the date was brought later forward. Based on the tense, decades-long debate over the question of Muslim rights, the British government eventually agreed to partition India along religious lines. Number 24. And so, on the 14th of August 1947, the Indian Independence Act came into effect, finally giving Pakistan its long-sought independence, with India officially gaining its own independence the next day. At the time, the newly founded country was split into the area that largely corresponds to present-day Pakistan and East Bengal. The two territories would later be known as West and East Pakistan, respectively. At the risk of stating the obvious here, it's important to point out that these two Pakistans were located just under 1,000 miles away from each other on either side of India. Yeah, not ideal. How do you think that went? Stay tuned for the thrilling conclusion of East Pakistan. Number 25. It's worth noting at this point that owing to the specific circumstances surrounding the country's creation, Pakistan is so far the only nation in the world to have been established on the basis of religion. Good idea, bad idea, who's to say. Not one-on-one facts, that's for sure. We deal with enough controversy as it is. Number 26. Though the leaders of the Pakistani independence movement sought the separation of Pakistan and India along religious lines, in effect this decision had grave consequences. When the borders between Pakistan and India were finally revealed, millions of people immediately became religious minorities, fomenting existing tensions even further. Muslims in India were forced to seek safety and security in Pakistan, and likewise Hindus and Sikhs in Pakistan were forced to do the same by moving to India. Number 27. The result was the movement of millions of people between these two borders, with some estimates putting the number of refugees at well over 14 million people, constituting the single largest mass migration in human history. Tragically, the process of partition was marred by the eruption of widespread religious violence, with Muslims on one side and Hindus and Sikhs on the other. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in riots, massacres and targeted killings, with some putting the death toll as high as 2 million people. Number 28. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, one of the most prominent figures in the Pakistan movement, served as the new nation's first leader. Sadly, however, Jinnah died on the 11th of September 1948, a little over a year after Pakistan gained its independence, after battling both with tuberculosis and lung cancer. Only weeks later, the First Kashmir War broke out between Pakistan and India over the disputed territory of Kashmir, resulting in thousands of deaths. Number 29. In February of 1956, after several years of work, Pakistan adopted a brand new constitution, which declared the country to be an Islamic republic. With this, Pakistan ceased to be a dominion, kicking our dear old Queen Liz to the curb, not literally, metaphorically. Number 30. In 1965, Pakistan and India had another short war over Kashmir again. Both nations declared themselves to have prevailed, but in reality the outcome was largely inconclusive. The conflicts did get the United States and Soviet Union involved though, which always livens things up, eh? Number 31. To the surprise of no one, in 1971, East Pakistan fought its very own independence war known as the Bangladesh Liberation War against West Pakistan. Owing to the fact that India supported Bangladesh at the time, Pakistan and India had another war between themselves, because at this point, why not? Might as well. Number 32. Dave Jackson on bass.
Following 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, Pakistan and India finally sat down in 1972 to sign the Simla Agreement, which ensured that Pakistan would recognise the independence of Bangladesh in exchange for a return of over 93,000 Pakistani prisoners of war. Since then, Pakistan and India have never again gone to war.
33. Psych, of course they did. Pakistan and India went to war again in 1999. In the conflict known as the Kargil War, due to continued disagreements over Kashmir. The Kargil War lasted just under 4 months and resulted in thousands of deaths. I'd make a snarky joke about the two kissing and making up, but honestly I think it's probably best to leave it at that. Number 34. Oh, last of all, we should probably mention that on the 2nd of May 2011, a guy named Osama bin Laden, who happened to be the founder of the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda, was killed by US Special Forces during a raid in Abbottabad, a city in northern Pakistan. Ooh. Number 35. Today, Pakistan is a democratic parliamentary federal republic, with Islam as a state religion. Politically, Pakistan is separated into 6 tiers of government, starting with the nation as a whole, which is split into a number of administrative units. The 4 provinces of Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab and Sindh, 2 autonomous territories known as Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, and finally 1 federal territory, the Islamabad Capital Territory. Number 36. Pakistan covers an area of roughly 340,509 square miles, making it the 33rd largest country on Earth and the 9th largest in Asia. Oh, you know, eh? Number 37. However, Pakistan ranks far higher up the leaderboard in terms of people, as it's currently the world's 5th most populous country with a population of roughly 220 people. I'm just kidding. 220 million people. Number 38. Geographically, Pakistan is divided into 3 major regions. Plain in the centre and east, the Balochistan Plateau in the south and west, and the Northern Highlands in the north. Number 39. The Balochistan Plateau, which covers much of Pakistan's western territory, takes up nearly half of the country's total land area. However, only 5% of the Pakistani population actually lives there. Number 40. With a population of over 14 million people, the largest city of Pakistan is Karachi, which is the nation's financial hub. Karachi was actually Pakistan's first capital city following independence, a status it held until the capital was moved to Rawalpindi in 1958. Number 41. Karachi is so large, in fact, that it alone produces 42% of Pakistan's entire GDP. Suck on that, other Pakistani cities like, Peshawar. Yeah, Karachi rules, baby. The meaning of life. Today, however, the capital of Pakistan is Islamabad, which has a population of 1,095,000 people, making it the 9th largest city in the country. Islamabad officially became Pakistan's capital on the 14th of August 1967, exactly 20 years after the country gained its independence. Number 43. The national language of Pakistan is Urdu, which is spoken by roughly 75% of the population and functions as the nation's lingua franca. Interestingly enough, however, very few Pakistanis speak Urdu as their native language. Only 7% of them do. Number 44. Indeed, linguistically speaking, Pakistan is an incredibly diverse nation. The people of Pakistan collectively speak more than 60 languages, which is far, far too many. Examples of Pakistan's numerous languages include Saraiki, Gujarati, Kashmiri, Punjabi, Pashto, Sindhi, and Baluchi. Number 45. While Urdu is Pakistan's national language, indicating its importance to the character and culture of the nation, it's also one of the country's 2 official languages, the other being good old no-nonsense English. Number 46. On the subject of languages, it's worth pointing out that Pakistan's literacy rate has gone from just under 18% in 1951 to 58% in 2018, which is still not great, but lots better. Number 47. Every year on the 23rd of March, the people of Pakistan celebrate their national day, known simply as Pakistan Day. The day commemorates the adoption of the Lahore Resolution by the Muslim League, which called for greater independence for India's Muslim minority prior to partition. Number 48. Pakistan's national anthem is the Qawmi Tarana, which literally translates to National Anthem. Less boringly, it's also known as the Pak-Sar-Zameen, meaning they sacred land. Composed in 1949 with lyrics written in 1952, the Pakistani national anthem is actually sung almost entirely in Persian. Number 49. The flag of Pakistan features a white crescent moon and star on a dark green background, with a vertical stripe of white running along the leftmost edge. The crescent, star and colour green are all traditional symbols of Islam, representing the nation's national religion. The white band represents Pakistan's religious minorities. Number 50. Not that there are that many religious minorities in Pakistan. As you've already guessed by now, the majority religion in Pakistan is Islam. Over 95% of Pakistani people are Muslims, with the remaining portion being Hindus and Christians. Number 51. As such, Pakistan is home to the world's second largest Muslim population, second only to those Islamic show-offs in Indonesia. Interestingly enough, the nation with the world's third largest Muslim population is in fact the Hindu majority nation of India. Number 52. Indeed, Pakistan is the only Muslim majority nuclear state. Good for them, I guess, being all nuclear and stuff, builds character, maybe? Number 53. Pakistan is one of several countries, including the likes of India, Indonesia, Nepal and Sri Lanka, to use the rupee as their currency. Sadly, the internet tells me there is literally nothing interesting about the Pakistani rupee, so let's just move on to some facts about deserts and mountains and all that nature stuff. Number 54. Pakistan has a total of 6 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, all of them in the cultural category. These sites are the archaeological ruins at Mohenjo-daro, the Buddhist ruins of Tatibahi and neighbouring city remains at Sahib-Balol, the fort and Shalimar Gardens in Lahore, the historical monuments at Makli in Dhaka, and finally the Rojas Fort in Taxila. I'm sure they're all lovely. Number 55. Pakistan has a total of not 1, not 2, but 29 national parks, the vast majority of which are located in the north of the country. 21 of these parks are under the supervision of local governments, while the remaining 8 are taken care of privately. Number 56. The Northern Highlands contain the Karakoram, Hindu Kush and Pamir mountain ranges, which feature some of the world's highest peaks. These include 5 of the world's 14 8,000ers, which are mountain peaks that measure over 8,000 meters. Number 57. The most notable among these is one particular mountain known locally as Dapsan, or Chagori, but most famously as K2, which stands at 8,611 meters. This makes it the second tallest mountain on Earth. Number 58. Pakistan is home to the Biafo Glacier, which at 67 kilometers long happens to be the world's third longest glacier outside of the polar regions. Only the Fedchenko Glacier in Tajikistan and the Siachen Glacier in India are longer, at 77 and 76 kilometers respectively. Number 59. Located in the Kasur and Lahore district of Pakistan's most populous province, Punjab, the wonderfully named Changamanga is a 12,423-acre forest planted in 1866 by British foresters. I knew we did something good. Changamanga used to be the largest man-made forest in the world, but in recent years has been reduced in size by illegal deforestation. Number 16. Pakistan also boasts a one-of-a-kind lake known as Ansu Lake, located in Kagan Valley in Pakistan's mountainous northern region. The lake is named for its distinctive shape, as the word Ansu in Urdu means teardrop. Sitting at an elevation of 4,245 meters above sea level, Ansu Lake is one of the highest lakes in all of the Himalayas. Number 61. The national animal of Pakistan is the markhor, a large species of wild goat that looks like, well, this. There you go. The markhor is also known as the screw whore because, well, I'm sure you figured that out. Although it's nothing rude. Dirty boy. Number 62. Pakistan's national bird is the chakar, an adorable little species of partridge. In Pakistani culture, the chakar is considered to symbolise intense and often unrequited love. Good grief, that's a lot of emotional baggage to put on one partridge. Number 63. Pakistan is also home to a subspecies of the South Asian river dolphin known as the Indus river dolphin, which, as you can probably guess by the name, lives in the Indus River. What you may not know about this slippery little fella is that over the years the variety of dolphin has adapted to life in muddy rivers by becoming functionally blind. You done goofed, dolphin, you done goofed. Nintendo 64. Pakistan's national dress is known as the shalwar kameez, which is a characteristic form of loose attire worn throughout Central and South Asia. Shalwar kameez is worn by 80 or 90% of Pakistanis. Good, Pakistan. Number 65. Nihari, often described as the national dish of Pakistan, is a spicy stew consisting of slow-cooked meat, usually beef or lamb, along with bone marrow. Oh, yeah, bone marrow. Number 66. The national drink of Pakistan is sugarcane juice, which is often referred to as rom. The simple beverage ascended to its position as the country's national drink following the poll conducted by the Pakistani government's official Twitter account, in which sugarcane juice won 81% of the vote. The other candidates, orange juice and carrot juice, were the preferred juices of just 15 and 4% of voters. But which drink would you vote for, one-on-one facts viewers? Sugarcane juice, orange juice, or carrot juice? Cast your vote on our fancy YouTube poll. Number 67. The national fruit of Pakistan is the humble mango. Mirza Ghalib, a prominent Urdu and Persian poet, once described the mango as the king of fruits, which is a very strong opinion to have about mangoes. Number 68. Pakistan's national flower is jasmine. Cool. Moving on. Number 69. Pakistan's national sport is field hockey, and as it happens, the Pakistanis are actually pretty damn good at it. Pakistan has won the Olympic gold medal for field hockey 3 times in 1960, 1968 and 1984. And brought home the Hockey World Cup 4 times in 1971, 1978, 1982 and 1994. Number 70. However, the most popular sport in Pakistan is cricket, which you can thank the British for if you want. You don't have to, no pressure though. Pakistan's national cricket team won the Cricket World Cup in 1992 and were World 2020 champions in 2009. Number 71. Like several other nations in South Asia, Pakistan is also famous for its beautiful truck art, which sees the generally utilitarian vehicle adorned with complex floral patterns and poetic calligraphy. Dating back to the 1920s, truck art apparently originated as a way to promote businesses to illiterate people who've been unable to read written signs. Since then, truck owners have gotten more and more carried away with their decorations, and the results can be spectacular. Number 72. Owing to the fact that much of its northerly regions, and literally a large section above the top of Himalayas, Pakistan holds a number of elevation-based records. For instance, Pakistan is home to the Karakoram Highway, a 1,300-kilometre long connection to western China that, at 4,693 metres above sea level, is widely regarded as the world's highest paved international road. Number 73. Located at the Shandur Pass between the Chital and Giza districts in northern Pakistan is the world's highest polo ground, which sits at 3,700 metres above sea level. Every year between the 7th and 9th of July, the ground plays host of the Shandur Polo Festival, which also features folk music, dancing and a camping village. Lovely. Number 74. Not only that, if you fancy a trip to the Kunjara Pass on Pakistan's northern border with China, you won't have to worry about forgetting your wallet, because it's here you'll find the world's highest ATM. Operated by the National Bank of Pakistan, the lofty cash machine is installed at a height of 7,879 meters above sea level. Number 75. Pakistan can also boast Khan Materzai railway station, which at 2,224 meters above sea level is the highest railway station in all of Asia. Is what an incorrect person would say. Oh yeah, you know I had to do it to you. Service to the station discontinued in 1986, you simpletons. Come on. Number 76. You can probably guess that, as one of Islam's main ride or die nations, Pakistan's got a bunch of really cool mosques. Named after Saudi King Faisal, the Shah Faisal Mosque in Islamabad is a particularly roomy example, as it's capable of accommodating up to 100,000 worshippers at a time. Number 77. The Badshahi Mosque in Lahore, Pakistan is one of the world's largest mosques and also constitutes an important example of Mughal architecture, having been commissioned by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1671. For a substantial period of time during the Sikh era and British rule, the mosque was largely used for military purposes, before it was restored to its original condition when Pakistan finally became independent. Number 78. Pakistan also has the Masjid-e-Tuba, known locally as the Gol Masjid, which is a mid-century modern mosque that was constructed in Karachi in 1969. The dome is balanced on a low surrounding wall featuring 0 central pillars and measures up at just under 65 meters in diameter and is almost 16 meters high, making it the largest single dome mosque on the planet. Number 79. The Edhi Foundation is a social welfare organisation founded by Pakistani philanthropist Abdul Sattar Edhi in 1951, which provides a range of medical services and social assistance programs across the nation of Pakistan and abroad. Since 1997, the Edhi Foundation has held the Guinness World Record for the largest volunteer ambulance service on Earth. Number 80. The Kira salt mine in the Punjab region of Pakistan is the country's oldest and largest salt mine, and is the second largest in the world after the Sifco salt mine in Ontario, Canada. The mine is famous for its production of Kira salt, and over the years has developed into a major tourist attraction, drawing in up to 300,000 visitors per year. Number 81. Located on the Indus River, close to the Himalayas in northern Pakistan, the Tarbela Dam is one of the country's most impressive achievements of engineering and architecture. Constructed between 1968 and 76 using compacted earth, the Tarbela Dam measures up at over 143 meters high and 2,743.2 meters long, making it the largest earth-filled dam in the world. Number 82. On the subject of artificially shifting water about all over the place, or as I like to call it, playing God, according to the United Nations, Pakistan has the largest continuous canal-based irrigation system on Earth. Number 83. Indeed, roughly 25% of Pakistan's total land area is under agricultural cultivation. In fact, Pakistan actually irrigates 3 times more land area than Russia, and Russia is blooming huge. Honestly, it is. Bonus fact for you there. Number 84. Situated in Baluchistan at the western end of Pakistan's coastline with the Arabian Sea, Gwadar Port is the largest deep-sea port in the world. The port has an area of 64,000 square meters and a depth of 14 meters, which does indeed sound sizable. Any port nerds out there want to confirm that? We'll pay you in exposure. Number 85. Sialkot, a city in Pakistan's Punjab province, is the world's largest producer of hand-sewn footballs, or soccer balls for our yeehaw viewers. The city's factories produce up to 60 million footballs every year, equivalent to as much as 70% of the world's total population. Number 86. But Sialkot doesn't only produce decorated air spheres. It also churns out a hell of a lot of sharp, pointy things that save lives, damn it. That's right, Sialkot produces around 80% of the world's supply of surgical instruments, though some sources put that figure even higher. Number 87. Located on the outskirts of the city of Thatta in southern Pakistan is Makli Hill, which just so happens to be one of those fancy UNESCO World Heritage Sites we mentioned a bit earlier. The site is made up of at least 500,000 tombs and graves, though some estimates put that figure closer to 1 million, making it one of the largest necropolises in the world. The enormous complex of elaborately decorated tombs was constructed over a period of 400 years between the 14th and 18th centuries. Number 88. The town of Dara Adam Khel in northern Pakistan maintains an infamous reputation based on its primary industry, guns. The town is filled with gunsmiths and weapon merchants, and almost 3/4 of the population is involved in the local gun business, which dates all the way back to the 19th century. Number 89. Somewhat worryingly, many of the Dara Adam Khel's products are actually cheap versions of other widely available weapons, which are sold at a fraction of the price of the real thing. As such, the town is considered by many to be the largest illegal gun market in the world. Number 90. In addition to dirt cheap counterfeit submachine guns, Pakistan has also produced a number of impressive politicians, scientists, sportsmen and humanitarians, which I'm going to go out on a limb here and say is better than dirt cheap counterfeit submachine guns. Anyways, in 1988, Benazir Bhutto was elected to be the nation's 11th Prime Minister, becoming the first woman to lead a democratic government of a Muslim-majority nation. Ideologically a liberal and secularist, Bhutto was assassinated in 2007. Number 91. A total of 2 Pakistanis have won a Nobel Peace Prize. The first was Abdus Salam, who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1979, and the second was Malala Yousafzai, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. Malala was thrust into the global spotlight in 2012 after she was the target of an attempted assassination by the Taliban, who were total whiny snowflakes about her campaigning for greater access to education for girls. After being literally shot in the head, Malala's immediate response was not only to not die, but to then continue to advocate for the education of girls throughout the world, eventually becoming the youngest person to win a Nobel Prize. What a boss. Number 92. Another impressive young Pakistani was Muhammad Ilyas, who in 1952, at the age of 20 years and 9 months old, passed the necessary exams to become the youngest civil judge in the world. Number 93. Pakistan is also blessed with the Jahangir Khan, a former world #1 professional squash player who is considered by many to be the greatest player in the history of the sport. Between 1981 and 86, he won an incredible 555 consecutive matches, recognised by the Guinness World Records as the longest winning streak by an athlete in a top-level professional sport. Number 94. In 2003, a Pakistani cricketer named Shoaib Akhtar bowled a cricket ball that was clocked at a speed of 161.3 kilometers per hour. That, by the way, is 100.23 miles per hour in a match against England during the Cricket World Cup in Cape Town in South Africa. As such, Akhtar was the very first bowler to ever break the 100 miles per hour barrier. P.S. England still won that match. Number 95. During the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965, a Pakistani fighter pilot with the name of Mahmood Alam is claimed to have shot down 5 planes in less than a minute. His record is contested by India, and perhaps they're right, but then they would contest it, wouldn't they? Number 96. However, as with all countries, Pakistan has also produced some right scoundrels. Take Basit Farooq Alvi and Amjad Farooq Alvi, for example. 2 brothers from Lahore who, in 1986, created Brain, the world's first PC virus. The brothers claim that their intentions were not malicious, and that their creation was designed only to protect their medical software from piracy. That didn't stop large numbers of people calling them from all over the world, demanding help to disinfect their computers though. Number 97. According to a poll carried out by the Institute of European Business Administration, Pakistanis are the 4th most intelligent people in the world, out of a list of 125 countries. Just missed out on a medal. Sad. Number 98. Additionally, Pakistan also happens to be the world's 4th largest producer of chickpeas, again missing out on that much coveted bronze. Who's got the top spot chickpea production-wise? Pakistan's bitter rivals, India. Gotta stay ridiculous. Number 99. Parts of Sylvester Stallone's Rambo 3 were shot in Pakistan. Bear that in mind if I ever watch Rambo 3. Number 100. In 2011, a monkey was arrested in Pakistan for crossing the border with India. The offending primate was later taken to Bahawalpur Zoo, where officials named him Bobby. It's good to see criminals turn their lives around. Inspirational. Number 101. The current mayor of London, Tariq Khan, is a British Pakistani. You know who isn't British or Pakistani? Jennifer Lawrence. Boom. I'm outie. Catch you on the flip.